actually scared for my life, and I'm not even exaggerating, y'all. Like, oh my God, this might be it. Like, hey y'all, what's up? What going on? It's your girl Nika of Traveling with Nika, and I am back on your screen with a new video. And as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about my experience flying on one of Europe's worst rated airline, and that is Ryanair. So let's get into it. They are considered as one of Europe's very low budget, low cost carriers, similar to those in the US like Frontier Airlines and Spirit Airlines. So they are no frills, super basic, and a lot of people don't like them, but I honestly think that I have the same opinion as I have when it comes to US budget airlines. And I think that people literally just don't read, but we'll talk about that later. So my flight actually cost me a total of $135 one way. I actually purchased the Plus package, which allowed me to get priority boarding, complimentary boarding pass. I was able to bring my carry-on and my personal item on board. I also was able to choose my own seat. And lastly, I also had a 20 kg check bag included with me upgrading basically to the Plus package. And then I ended up technically purchasing a second check bag. I know that my check bag was actually going to be over the 20 kg. So I paid an extra like $49 or so USD to be able to basically have like more weight allowance, even though I wasn't technically checking like two bags. They didn't give me any problems with that, so give them a thumbs up for that, because I technically did pay for a second bag. So personally, I felt like the value was there because honestly, like, I live in the US, so $135 flight to go from one country to the next, I'm like, that's a steal, okay? Because sometimes I can't even get a flight within the States for that type of price. But for me, going from one country to the next, that was affordable in my opinion. And again, I did upgrade like my basic fare to be able to have all of those different things included, and I think it was worth it for me. When it came to the check-in process, I was actually able to easily use the Ryanair app and check in. I also got my mobile boarding pass, via their app, so I felt like that went smoothly. Once I got to the airport, I showed that I had my boarding pass already and I was checked in. So they actually directed me to an area to get like my baggage tags for my check bag. And then once I went through that process, which you can either have someone help you, like if your connectivity and things isn't working like on your phone, there is staff there to help you through that process of getting your bag tags and things like that. Once I got my bag, dropped off and checked in, I was like, okay, check-in went good. So I definitely gave them a thumbs up for that experience. Got through security, I was actually in the lounge. So I went to the lounge, make sure I ate, had something to drink, relax. And then about 20 minutes before the time that was listed for boarding, I actually made my way to the gate. So as I mentioned, with the Plus package, I had priority boarding. So we were the first people to be in our own, lane for the boarding process. So they had like priority boarding, and then they had like the other individuals who did not have priority. One of the things I would say that I observed is that the crew was definitely not there. I couldn't tell if our flight was actually late, like the plane itself, but I definitely knew that the crew was not there because they came like afterwards, but we were waiting to basically be boarded. There was staff at the gate, so there were gate agents there who were able to kind of like answer like questions as people kind of like waited to see like what was happening with the flight. But the staff at the gate were definitely super friendly, and we eventually did get to board. Overall, though, we left about almost an hour later than the time than we were supposed to leave. So I would say that they lost some points there when it comes to like the delay. But again, the actual boarding process itself in terms of the agents and things like that went smoothly. And I would say that because it is a budget airline, they do have like those bag sizers. And I really feel like it's kind of like a hit or miss on and what type of gate agents you have. If they're going to be really strict with like checking your luggage I know for sure, honestly, like me personally, my backpack that I had would have not fit in like that like small little sizer thing. So I feel like I was definitely, I was definitely playing it a little close with Ryanair, but I felt like, thank God that I actually paid for the plus package, because I feel like they didn't really even like ask any of us in that line to like size anything. And I did try to like look back, like as we were kind of waiting for the other passengers to board, and I didn't see them sizing anyone. So maybe we all got lucky for that flight, but definitely don't try that at home. Well, don't try that at the airport. read, the sizing requirements, read the weight requirements, read everything so that you are definitely prepared, because I can't say that you will have our luck. But I would say I definitely got lucky, but I was prepared to obviously like downsize my bag. So let me just say that even though I know like my bag was a little bit like bigger, I would say my carry-on had enough space for me to like take things out, and then my backpack would have like fit properly. So I was prepared in that aspect, because again, I had the plus package. It did include me bringing like an actual carry-on and a regular personal item. So there's that. Once I got on board, I did feel like they probably had like a very quick turnaround time, because when I got to my seat, I was like, I could tell that it probably needed to get like a wipe down, which I did do that, because I do travel with like Clorox wipes and things like that to be able to like, wipe down my seat and the tray table and things like that. So I did take a little bit of time to just do that very quickly, which I'm glad that I did do that. Then I got myself settled in the seat, and it was pretty much time to go. As I mentioned, we were technically delayed almost an hour, so we didn't leave when we were supposed to leave, but I was just chilling on the plane waiting. I felt like the seat itself was okay. Again, nothing too fancy or extravagant, no bunch of padding and things like that. It was a basic seat. It doesn't recline, and there's also no outlets available on the flight. So I personally came prepared by having like podcasts, music, shows and things like that downloaded for my entertainment, but it was still a short flight anyways. But yeah, I did come prepared, and I had my extra like battery pack, because I knew that there wasn't any outlets available on the plane. So there's that. So again, there is no in-flight entertainment, so come prepared if again you have a longer flight than myself, or you take the same flight as me and you want to be entertained. The other thing that I realized is that there's no seat back pocket like at all, even like not even like a little string to be able to hold the safety like briefing. You guys would see on your screen now that the safety information was actually at the back of each seat actually. And speaking of safety, I did observe the flight attendants doing their, the typical safety briefing and all of that. So yes, guys, again, if these planes are flying, they are safe, okay? In terms of like overall safety. I know a lot of people try to like thing on budget airlines and be like, oh, you're gonna end up this and da 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 da. But they did have, a typical safety briefing and all of that, and that went fine. When it came to connectivity on the flight, so as far as like Wi-Fi goes, there's no Wi-Fi available as well. So just keep that in mind. On the back of each seat, you would also see that there's a QR code, and you would be able to scan that code and access their app. So that's how you would be able to see like the menu for what they have to offer on the flight. So I would say that they had different things on their menu, and I was like, wait, y'all have like food on this menu? Like they had like lasagna, like some pasta. I saw they had like some Thai curry chicken. I even saw like a vegan option for some meal or something like that. And I was shocked actually. I was like, wait, what? I don't know if I would really like be like, yeah, give me some food. But I mean, again, it was available if, you wanted to try that. And the drinks, I did see that they had like bottled water available for about €3. And they had drinks available like, Coca-Cola and things like that for about €350. So they did have, things available on flight for purchase. So be prepared for contactless payment, with your credit card if you do want to purchase something on board. As I mentioned to you guys, I personally went to the lounge to eat prior to the flight. And I also brought a banana and a bottled water on board for myself. So personally, I didn't make any purchases, so I can't like rate the food or anything like that for y'all. The tray table was like pretty full size. I was like, okay, I was honestly expecting probably like a smaller like slab, which I've seen like on Spirit Airlines planes where like the tray tables are a little bit smaller. That's kind of what I was expecting, but they actually had like a more like full size tray table available. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, thumbs up for that. When it comes to the overall flight experience, I personally feel like the flight attendants were very nice. I didn't really have any issues with like the on board like experience, to be honest. The only time I was actually scared for my life, and I'm not even exaggerating, y'all, I was actually scared for a good, I would say like a good like 30 seconds to a minute, because we did have some crazy turbulence and I was like, oh my God, this might be it. Like we like dropped, and I was actually very careful. I don't have no videos for y'all about that, because let me tell y'all, I was praying to the man above, like, please do not take me out. I have a whole life that I'm trying to live. Like, please, God. Like, I was literally praying, y'all. But other than that specific experience, the flight itself, you know, it was good. And we landed safely. It was a good landing. And then we deplaned on the stairs, got inside to the airport in Vienna. And one of the things I would say is when it came to baggage claim, my bag was out in no time, y'all. Like, I was actually pretty impressed that my bag came out so quickly, because I was like, what? Is this like, you know, the priority life or what? Because I was actually shocked. So my bag came out, you know, pretty quickly. So overall, I would say I personally would fly Ryanair again if it makes sense for me, like it did this first time. And if you want to fly Ryanair, I would say, again, read everything that they are telling you on the site, what their weight allowance is for their bags, what you can bring on board when it comes to your seat selection, all of those things. Just read and pick what's best for you. So for example, for this flight, the plus package was the best thing for me, and that's what I purchased. I didn't have any issues when it came to boarding or being charged anything extra or anything like that. Like, I really feel like the flight, it got me from point A to point B safely and in one piece, you know. And yeah, they did their job. It was, you know, no frills. I knew that going in, so I came prepared. I would at least say my first flight experience with one of Europe's worst rated airlines actually went okay. So that's my review. See y'all. Bye.